peeps? Hope everybody's doing good. Got a little bit of music going to get old Carlucci in the mood so that I can bring it for my party peeps. Hope everybody's doing good. Oh my gosh, I've got somebody I have got to say hello to. She knows where I'm coming. I'm coming for you. Hang on a second here. Sydney from Sydney. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Sydney sent me a message last night, and she said, I'll try to make it, but it's pretty damn early in Australia. So I said, if you're there, I'm going to open you up, say hello, and see if you had your morning coffee. So there you go. So have you?
No, not yet.
Right now. No, haven't you? Yeah, we have to get some while we get going here. So, how you doing, Sydney? What's happening, buddy?
Yeah, really, really awesome. Can't wait for your webinar, Karl.
Oh, you legend. Okay, cool. I'm going to put you back on mute. For those that don't know Sydney from Sydney, she is a legend. She absolutely is. She turns people into bestsellers and does all sorts of crazy, cool stuff. So she's my bud, and she came here to see our stuff. So anyways, got lots of folks here having a look around, see some familiar faces. Hey, or I guess it's not faces, but it's names in this case. But ready to rock and roll here, guys. Hang on, let me have a look. There we go. Okay, so guys, my pleasure and honor to have you guys all here. Let's take this screen off pause and get things ready to rock and roll. So, look, here we go, guys. Getting coaching clients online is what we're here to talk about. Tell you a little dealio. 90 days ago, you would have found that 7 of 10 people that you met with probably couldn't afford your high-end coaching. I'm going to refer to high-end coaching a number of times here today in the next 90 minutes. Let's just assume that's $2,000 a month, 24 grand a year. In some cases, you're going to be a little bit less. Some of you are a little bit more, or a lot more for that matter. I know many coaches that work with us, you know, they're 5 grand a month, 60 grand a year, etc. But the interest of today, we're just going to go with 2 grand a month, 24 grand when I refer to a high-end coaching client. Here's the challenge. 90 days ago, 7 to 10 people that you would sit down and speak to couldn't afford 2 grand a month. Well, moving forward for the next 12, maybe 18 months, you're probably going to find that number is going to scale up to about, or crawl up to 8.5 out of 10. Why? Because we're sitting on some pretty crazy times. We've been under government, you follow my emails, under government mandated quarantine. Thank you very much, government. I loved it. But anyway, so that's what's happened. But, you know, they arrest you for opening up and giving somebody a haircut. And Lord knows, if you've seen a photo, if you guys could see my hair right now, you would personally throw me in the back of your car and cut this crazy looking hair. But bottom line, guys, 8.5 out of 10 people can't afford your high-end coaching approximately over the next 12 months. What does that mean? What do you got to have? You got to have a place to put them. Or in fact, let me maybe tell you a story. I had a client back in the day, a business broker. And, you know, so when I work with a coaching client, I had, no doubt if you follow me and whatnot, you know, I've had a little bit of very legitimate success in the old business coaching space. Well, what I do is if I was going to coach somebody, no matter if they're paying me a little or paying me a lot, I've got to establish, imagine that I'm skiing or I'm in a national park. I'm looking at a map. What's the most important part of that map for you, for me, for anybody looking at it? The little red arrow that says you are here. So with my business broker, I've got to establish that, like, where are you at? A very important thing that I need to establish is where is he getting revenue from, right? You're going to find that there's probably a maximum of 5 areas where they're driving revenue. More than likely, there's 3 primary places that they're bringing in revenue, and there's one specifically that they're really crushing it. Like, that's where the majority, like 80% of their dough is coming from. Well, I got to work out where that is. Well, after, you know, a very small a bit of analysis, we worked out that he's getting a lot of phone calls. So I say, well, tell me, what do these phone calls look like? And I said, just walk me through the average 10. And he says, well, out of 10, you know, 9 out of 10 times, it's a waste of time. Like, I can't wait to hang up the phone. It's a waste of time. And I'm like, well, what the hell? Like, what do you mean? You're trying to hang up the phone? Like, I'm pretty sure, you know, I'm not a rocket scientist and I'm not Jeff Bezos, but I'm pretty sure that's not the goal. It kind of sounds like it sucks. I go, what are you doing? And he goes, well, 9 to 10 times, it's either a guy throwing a Hail Mary. In other words, he's trying to sell a business that is not sellable. And quite frankly, I don't want to sell it. I don't want a part of it. I don't want to represent it. So no, thank you. Right. And another bit of those phone calls is from somebody who wants to buy a business, but really they're just tire kickers. They don't have the money. Just think of if you were selling real estate, you get a lot of phone calls on Saturdays and Sundays, people driving by just trying to work out the price, and they're literally just driving by, don't even live in the city, not going to happen. So he had a bit of spidey senses for that. And he's like, yeah, 9 to 10 people that call, just a bit of a waste of time. And I said, well, could you do me a favor? And he kind of, the blood rushes out of his face, like, oh no, what's coming? I go, come over here to Common Sense Corner. Why don't we build a program for the 9 and 10 instead of the 1 and 10? And actually, guys, the story gets better. I then said to him, out of the 1 and 10, how many people become money? And he's like, well, not a lot, right? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, how often do you sell one of these businesses, man? And he's like, well, 5 businesses a year would kind of be my average. I said, what's your best year? I think he said 10 or 11. I said, what's your worst year? He goes, I've sold none. I've sold 1. I said, my God, what about the other guys? He goes, oh yeah, guys get going in this business and they don't make their first sale until the 18-month mark. And I'm like, I don't know. I think if I was put on a suit every day and I left for work, and then I brought a check home, once or twice a year, my wife would be wondering, where the hell are you going in that suit? I'd have a private investigator following me to work. Every time I mentioned my wife, my emails, and here I kind of take the piss out of her a little bit. She gets annoyed. So please stop messages. Please stop mentioning me. Period. End of story. Just take my name out of your vocabulary when you're talking to your clients. But anyway, so there you go, guys. So reason I'm saying that is she wouldn't really send a private investigator. I'm totally joking around. But anyway, so no doubt you get the idea. I'm talking to this business broker, and I'm like, man, why don't we build a business for the 9.8 out of 10 instead of what you got currently going? And he goes, geez, that makes a little bit of sense. And there we go. So that's a little bit about what I want to talk about today, guys. Just making sure you got a business model that works. Another example that I would give you, if you follow me, like I've got a pretty popular magazine. We got 100,000 subscribers. The Six Figure Coach magazine. Business coaching is my niche, right? Like that's predominantly what my clients are. I've got 800 clients around the world. The majority of them are business coaches, but I also got a lot of different life coaches, grief coaches, career coaches, this sort of thing. I want to talk to them because I know you guys are listening, okay? So as an example, if you are a grief coach, once again, I like Common Sense Corner, right? I'm pretty sure that terminology came from Tony Robbins, or maybe he learned it from somewhere, but that's where I got it from. Common Sense Corner. So you are a grief coach. What is your goal? I've never had a grief coach, but I'm pretty sure that their goal is to get me out of grief, right? Well, I hope you like lead generation and sales, because if you were a grief coach, you were constantly looking. Success means you lose your client. And then, by the way, you better you get at it, the quicker you can move me out of grief, the quicker you lose your client. So, like, again, I'm not Jeff Bezos, but I'm pretty sure that's a pretty stupid business model that's not going to work very well. And that would be fact. And what about a career coach? Same thing. You find me the job, you get me the promotion, and then what? You lose me as a client, you got to go find somebody new. Please move into Common Sense Corner and tell me how that makes any sense whatsoever. And by the way, if you got, rich hubby, rich wife, you got family money, old money, great grandpa was, the oil and gas guy. That's fantastic. And it's a noble pursuit, grief coaching and whatnot. So congratulations. But don't pretend like it's a business that's going to go anywhere, because it's literally broken before you get started. Another example that I'd give you before I get rocking into this content is I just want to make sure that you guys have a foundation for success. Whether you end up at the end of this, I'm going to present an opportunity for you guys to get together one-to-one and move forward with what we're doing and what we have. And quite frankly, very successful model. I've got a business plan that I got angel investors signed $1 million in my company through a business plan. So if you stay to the end, I am going to give you the opportunity to get a hold of that business plan if you want to get it, okay? But I want to make sure that you walk away from this understanding and having a great foundation for your business to move forward with, more to the point, for the clients and the business owners of the world. Well, a lot of business owners, like, why should you become a business coach, like grief coach, career coach? I'm giving those guys a hard time. So why business coaching? Well, here's the thing. As a business coach, if I'm coaching you, let's say that you're doing $500,000 a year now, and then I move you towards $1 million, are you going to have more problems at $1 million or less problems at $1 million than you have at 500,000? And of course the answer is more, right? Just more revenue. If I have more staff, like if you've got 3 staff now and I expand you towards 10 staff as we move this thing towards $1 million, are you going to have more problems? Or are you going to have less problems? Well, the more staff, the more challenges you have. Absolutely, right? And of course they're handling some of those things. You might be thinking, well, hang on a minute, that sounds a little bit broken. No, it's just, you're just going to be a different level of problem and whatnot, but you absolutely have more problems as you grow. What happens with a business coach is that you become more, you need us more and more as you move on. I've had people pay me for literally 12 years as a coach, and it's not like next month something weird's going to happen. I've had hundreds of people pay me for 5 years on the trot. Again, but you got to be helping them grow their businesses. Well, as a business coach, you can legitimately take people and not only hold them for months, but you can hold on to them for years. And very legitimately, and it's recurring. Like it's not, at some stage, the career coach, you get to the goal, and then all of a sudden it's game over. With the business coach, the opposite fact happens. The longer I work with you, the more I get indoctrinated into your business and your personality and understand you, the more that you want me, right? It's very important. And very importantly, we also get paid twice as much, if not more. Why? We get to sell the easiest thing in the world. Money at a discount. What do I mean by that? If I have a 10 and you've got a 5 and I go, do you want to trade? Number one, you'd go, is he full of crap? Your spidey senses would rise up because this is too good to be true. You'd look for social proof. Once you establish that I was legitimately going to make this exchange, you do it as quickly as possible. If you missed out, you'd ask me, will you do it again? I kind of just took my eye off the prize. And if we did do it, you'd ask me, will you do it a second time? Well, that's the beauty of being a business coach. That's the reason why we can get paid, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. I got guys that get charged, they charge $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year is their lowest price, lowest price point for you to work with them as a business coach, right? So bottom line, I want to make sure that you've got a model. And as coaches, if you're a grief coach, career coach, life coach, ultimately what we all do is we help people, right? Well, as a business coach, I can tell you that I have helped people with addictions. I have helped people with sex addictions, which I could tell you a funny story about that one, which I won't go into here. Might be some kids listening, but anyway, so sex addicts, I've helped them with that. Unfortunately, I didn't ask. I got thrown into it, but life goes on. But addiction issues, you help them with, somebody passes away, you become a grief coach. Somebody gets fat and out of shape because they're not keeping their eye on the prize, you become a health coach, all that stuff. So really, as a business coach, it's not like all of a sudden you just go in and help them grow their business and become, their accountant/financial advisor. What you're really doing is you're helping them navigate the waters. And really what you'll find is any business trying to get, they're at X and they're trying to get to Y, you are going to find the gap in the middle is always a chokehold on their, it's their psychology is their chokehold. That's what you got to do is you got to help them get out of their own way. So anyways, with that being said, guys, you see my little quote at the bottom. If you know me, I'm a little bit of a smart ass. You read my emails. I like to, have a bit of a joke once in a while, but you motivate an idiot, they do stupid things quicker. There's so many people out there in business, like the grief coach, like trying to speed up, but going in the wrong direction. And it's just horrific. I want to make sure that you've got a platform to be able to springboard off of. And I want to most definitely make sure that your clients do also. Let's get into some content here. Amazon. Amazon will be the first trillion-dollar company. I know we use these numbers, because, thanks to our governments, million, billion, trillion, like as though they make sense. I want to put this in context before I continue with this example of Amazon to understand the power of it and the intelligence and brilliance and genius of a guy named Jeff Bezos. $1 trillion, guys, let's put that in seconds. 1 million seconds is 11 days. Then 1 billion seconds is what? In fact, I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you to go into the little chat box and play a little game. Do. I think that's Shark's music, Shark or Jaws music I was singing there. What's the Jeopardy music? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, what is 1 billion seconds? If it's 11 days for 1 million seconds, what's 1 billion seconds? I want to see some examples here. Go to the little chat box. Here we go. Oh, you bastard. Somebody, Bryan, you're too damn guy. I got one. I have got a lot of wrong answers. Most of the answers are a lot too small. Come on, guys. I can't continue until you go into the little box and you take a guess for me, guys. We can't continue. Maybe you go into the little box and tell me how handsome I am. How about that? Cindy, I know you're going to do that. You're going to go in there and go, my gosh, Karl, that big nose and that pot belly. I tell you. There we go. Okay, guys, I got a whole bunch of wrong answers. The bottom line, guys, 1 billion seconds is 32 years, okay? 1 million seconds is 11 days. 1 billion seconds is 32 years. Okay, if you got that one, I want you to guess how long 1 trillion seconds is, Okay, na 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 na, a little bit of Jeopardy music. 32,000 years. Okay, 32 years, 32,000 years compared to 11 days. Million, billion, and trillion got very little to do with one another. Why do I say that? Amazon will be the first trillion-dollar company, or at least it looks that way. How the hell could they do that? Believe me, your local restaurant's not getting to $1 billion. Not happening. They've got what's called network effects working in their favor. What are network effects? Effectively, I don't have enough time. I encourage you to go and learn more about it when this is done. I won't be able to go. I could spend an hour explaining this, but it's a very powerful concept. But basically, the following customers make it better. Like your existing customers make it better for your following customers. That's it in a nutshell. So the experience becomes better. Let me give you an example here for Amazon. The number one thing, I call it the clock, and at 12 o'clock, they've got selection, okay? Well, the more selection they got, what is it going to do? Increase the customer experience, because they refer to themselves as the everything store. That's the name of the book about Amazon, the everything store. So the more you can get, the easier it is. It's the customer experience is good. I'll give you an example. My 7-year-old daughter just turned 7 years old. She wanted the Reborn doll. So she gets a Reborn doll, and then for her birthday, she wanted some Reborn doll clothes. Well, guess where my wife knew that she could go to not only get the doll, but to get the clothes as well, and a vast selection of the clothes. You guessed it, Amazon. So guess what? My wife goes back multiple times for fundamentally the same gift. And then what happens? More sellers. Well, we all know that guy that goes, I'm not selling on Amazon. I'm not selling on Amazon. I'm not selling on Amazon. I hate Amazon. I hate Bezos. I hate the whole model. They're killing, the retail store and the local retailer. I hate these guys. I'm not doing it. Shit, I got to sell on Amazon. Everybody is there. Well, the guy ends up on Amazon. They end up with more sellers. What does that do to their selection? Increases their selection. There's actually a second row to this where I want you to think just imagine those arrows. There's a clock that rises up above it to make it a larger clock. And what they do is like buying power. And then past the buying power is cheaper prices, because they're now buying better. They can maintain their margins, give you a better price. What will that do to customer experience? If you can buy the same thing from them for cheaper, it increases the customer experience. So I want you to picture this clock speeding up and then expanding over time. That's network effects. The experience continues to improve. This is how you get to $1 trillion company. If you ever get the chance to jump on board with a company that has network effects working in its favor, you're going to want to do so. So let's talk about you guys. You guys are coaches and consultants, okay? So you take on new clients. You can put whatever you want at the top, and 12 o'clock will be the most important function of your business, right? For Amazon, it's selection. And that's not something that they came to on day one. This has well and truly been a journey and a process. But basically, you guys are probably looking for more clients, right? Well, we come down to 3 o'clock, and you've got an available amount of time. If you are, say, a business coach, or you're a life coach, grief coach, career coach, you take on about 20 clients and you max out. So let's assume 20 is the available allotted time. Well, clients' wants and needs are going to increase if you've got 3 clients, you get a certain amount of clients' wants and needs. If you've got 20 clients, you get a whole different level of wants and needs. And your customer experience, as you get better at it, your clients' results are going to get better. You're going to be able to draw on other experiences. It's going to be great. That's going to bring in referrals. You're going to get new clients. The challenge, once you get to 20 clients in available time at 3 o'clock, guess what happens when you go to 25, 30, 35, potentially 40? This clock starts to go counterclockwise and starts to kind of eat itself, where all of a sudden the customer experience goes down because your clients are sending you inquiries and whatnot, and you don't have enough time to get back to them, and it's 2 days before you get back to them, and you got to give them, some story about spam or whatever it is, and all of a sudden the customer experience starts going in the wrong direction, and the client's wants and needs are expanding, but you don't have the available time to look after them. So this goes in the wrong direction, and this is why it's very difficult to take on, to be a one-man band in the coach consultant space and scale. So remember, if you see a model that looks like this, you want to jump all over it, and you need to find a way to get network effects moving in your direction. Guys, if you're on this webinar, you probably have a bit of an idea as to who I am. I'm not going to spend a half an hour doing the old dog and pony show. I would just tell you, I'm very much on purpose. My big brother committed suicide when I was 16 years old over business failing. My dear mother, who now, as I sit here, I'll just give her a little kiss. There's my mom in a pink urn sitting on my desk. She then drank herself to death. A self-imposed punishment for my brother's suicide. She didn't even drink when I was growing up. And she ended up drinking herself to death. I had a front row seat from the age of 16, 19, age of 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Really, all I wanted to do is try to get laid at school, right? And I was kind of putting up with this. A little bit of a challenge, a rough time. But the good news, I guess, if there is any good news of it, I'm very much on purpose, and there's nothing that I won't do to help a small business owner. I love my clients, and I love my business coaches and my accountants, and that those type, my clients that work with me, love them dearly. But ultimately, my heart rests in the small business owner, protecting them and letting them elevate and creating really cool tools that they benefit. So anyways, so there you go. And that's me playing hockey. I do draw a lot of inspiration from a hockey career. I played a lot of ice hockey growing up. That's me actually playing for Team Canada. That's inline hockey. That's ice hockey on rollerblades. If you don't know what that is, that's like what 3-on-3 basketball is the basketball. Inline hockey tends to be to ice hockey. It's a little bit more high scoring and frankly a little more fun in my opinion. But a little bit more wide open, high scoring. So if you are short, which I happen to be, I don't know if you can tell in that photo, but I'm a short ass. Short and fast, this might be the only sport on the planet that actually works in your favor. So I managed to cruise around, whatever. Guys, I'm in 24 countries. I got over 800 successful business coaches that work one-to-one with me. Enough about me, guys. Let's see if I know what I'm talking about. Let me prove it to you. When I first got going, guys, I wanted to hit six figures. You might be in the same boat. I realized I had two distinct groups that I could go to. There was those that could afford me and those that couldn't. Those that could afford me, I charged them $1,000 a month. Pretty simple, 12 grand a year. If you extrapolate the numbers out, I needed 9 clients to hit 100 grand. The problem was it was a lot harder to get those 9 clients than I ever dreamt. A lot of the folks I told you, 7 to 10, just simply couldn't afford me. So after extensive marketing, I got 5 clients in year 1. Not too bad. I was a younger guy and I was trying to get going, but made 60 grand. Not the worst amount in the world, but certainly not what I was expecting. One of the challenges I had, let's say that I took on 10 clients. I had 3 clients who were totally engaged. I had 3 that were kind of falling off and not really showing up, and I had a bunch in the middle. Well, for some crazy reason, when I got the client, prospective client number 11, I felt like I needed to present my coaching as like an average. Like I had to oh, well, look, as long as you engage and as long as you this, as long as you do that, then you're going to get these great results. I mean, I wasn't really just thinking to myself, 3 clients engage and 3 are crushing it. So if these guys engage and just do what we're agreeing to, we're going to crush it too. But that's on them, right? So the equivalent of this is if you went to go buy a BMW for 60 grand, imagine the guy selling it to you going, well, I think you'll be all right. We sell a lemon once in a while. We had, we sold one in the last 90 days, and the guy's probably spent more time in here in the service shop, and the wheel did fall off, and he was going 60 miles an hour. Very disappointing, but nobody got killed. They're all right. But I think you'll be good. I lifted the hood. I, honked the horn. I kicked the tires. This thing's going to be great. Obviously, they're not going to present the $60,000 BMW like that. And believe me, they sell lemons once in a while, right? Or I'm going to buy a toaster, right? It's a $100 toaster. I don't know why I say that, but whatever. $100 toaster. I haven't bought a toaster in a long time. Is that expensive? Is that cheap? Let's assume that's an expensive toaster. The guy who's selling me isn't going to talk about, well, there was the one house fire, the guy was, the kid was 6. The kid got out of the house. Nobody died. The house didn't make it, the house didn't work out so well. But anyways, I think this toaster will be great. Obviously not. All the marketing material, all the sales pitch, everything is designed where you do your job, it does its job. Bingo, bango, bongo. You should be presenting your coach in that manner. Bottom line is 7 to 10 couldn't afford me. They were struggling. I needed to be able to monetize and impact. See, I didn't want to just monetize them, but remember, my big brother committed suicide when I was 16 years old. I'll never meet a prospective business owner or a business owner that I don't want to impact. But basically, I needed a product that I could sell instead of a service because I had 2 arms, 2 legs, and 1 mouth. But the thing is, I knew they needed the coaching and more to the point, the accountability. So I was sort of in a conundrum of what kind of product am I going to be able to create that's going to be affordable and is going to provide that accountability. So I asked myself, what do business owners want? Well, I can tell you, and if you've done any length of any type of coaching, you've seen this. They want everything done for them. They say, oh, golly gee, Karl, this is amazing. This is great. You're super intelligent. Can you just do it for me, right? So you guys hear it as well. They want world-class info strategies and tactics. They don't want me experimenting with their credit card. They want everything done. They want it turnkey, as in they want it to be something that was tried and tested in the real world. Again, they don't want me experimenting. And the kicker here, guys, is they don't have any money to pay for it. So they want everything, but they don't want to pay for it. So it all boiled down to this. In order to monetize and impact the 70% that struggle, I had to develop a product. There were thousands of them on the market. I literally bought every single one of them. But the problem is they didn't do any of this. They didn't do everything for me. They weren't world class. Tony Robbins, Dan Kennedy, Jay Abraham, you name it, they had them. I got to tell you, quite frankly, to say that they didn't do everything, they're a bunch of how-to bloody videos. To say that they weren't world-class, frankly, these are some of the guys that I looked up to big time, quite frankly, left me a little bit disappointed. To say that they weren't turnkey, like I said, they're a bunch of how-to videos and, a little bit of direction here, there, and everywhere. And, were they inexpensive? I would say not. Again, these things were pretty pricey, and quite frankly, I struggled to come away from a lot of those things and say that they were really high value. The bottom line is able to productize my one-to-one coaching. I had no idea under the sun how to do it. I abandoned the idea and just went back to working with the 30% that could afford me, and the 70% were just going to have to lie dormant for now. The good news is when I work with my one-to-one clients, I really did a lot of the work with them, and I really got my hands dirty and got in there. So I ended up building a huge coaching archive. The problem is, if you know me, I'm a little bit on the disorganized side, and believe me, my wife can back that one up. And trying to find anything became like, every day is like the little hamster in the maze, trying to find everything. So I thought, well, look, I'll take a weekend to organize my files. Notice how I put weekend in quotations. Oh, my God. It was a 6-month ordeal. Anyways, the end result is I created an online coaching archive that would make your eyes water. And by giving my clients access to it, it made my one-to-one coaching a breathe. In a nutshell, what it allowed me to do is to go from 20 clients to 40 clients, but instead of having the counterclockwise direction, I was speeding up in that they were getting better results and whatnot because of all these tools that I was creating. So what did I do? I recorded all my training and I created online videos, audios, and workbooks, and basically put them up. So I started with the fundamentals. There are exactly 30 fundamentals to growing a business, not 29, not 31, not 36. There are exactly 30. And then, by the way, when I extrapolated them out and I created video 1, 2, 3, or part 1, part 2, part 3, it actually came to 52. And that was just by happenstance. But it was kind of unbelievable and kind of made me kind of think to myself, this was meant to be. And this was meant to become, a 52-week curriculum. So let me give you an example of a fundamental. Okay. So, in fact, again, a lot of you guys follow my emails and whatnot. I'll tell you a funny email that I probably got more feedback on than any other one. Was I was in Cancun. I was drinking beer in a pool in Cancun, tanning my belly and whatnot, having a couple beers, and I'm with this guy. He's a big 6'6", 6'7" dude. I can't remember where he's from. He had one of those crazy accents. I'm gonna say like Arkansas or something like that. But anyway, so he told me. I said, "Oh yeah, so what do you do?" And he says, "Oh, I sell." He sells dogs, purebred dogs. I'm like, "Oh wow, okay, what kind?" And I can't remember. They're Rottweilers, Pit Bulls. I can't remember, but I'm going to call them Pit Bulls for the sake of the argument. Oh, okay, cool. And how much do they sell for? And he told me, I can't help myself, right? I go into business coaching mode organically. And then I'm like, okay, and how many would you sell a year roughly? I'm trying to get some, you are here, that red arrow. I'm trying to establish what this guy's up to. I said, oh, okay, cool. And I said, so, and he was doing some pretty decent numbers. I mean, he wasn't a lightweight, but he also wasn't conquering the world. So I asked him, when you sell these pit bulls, what kind of dog food do you recommend? And he goes, and he was very passionate about it. He's like, a particular type of dog food, and it's this one, and they got to buy it from here. And I insist, and I give him the brochure, blah, 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 blah. And I said, why? And he's like, because they got protein, and they got kale, and they got spinach, and they got this, and they got that. And he's listing off all the ingredients and why it's important for this particular breed of dog. I can't remember what it was, but it's one of those meaty-ass little, again, call a pit bull, right? Strong, meaty little thing. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I said, you ever thought about selling dog food? Curious, right? He's like, no, not really. I wouldn't even know where to start. And I mean, where would I get the money? I wouldn't know. What am I going to call it? This, that, and the other. And again, I don't have deep pockets. And he had 5 kids, by the way. I got 5 kids, and that sets me back. Blah 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 blah. And I said, you ever heard of a co-packer? And he's like, what? And he's like, tell me more. And I go, you just go to a co-packer. You take that food in. You basically bring a can opener with you just to, for shits and giggles, open it up, dump it up on the counter. They're going to cut it up. They're going to reverse engineer it. They'll tell you exactly how much kale, exactly how much spinach, exactly how much protein, exactly how much everything is in it. And then you just whip it up, by the way, just, create a different recipe, add more spinach, less kale, more protein, more this, more that, make 5 types, bring in a few dogs, hold them back, make 5 bowls out, put the 5 different flavors in, only put a little bit in each, see which one they go to first, second, and third for each of the 5 dogs to come mosey in. You're going to have your 3 winners. There's your 3 brands of food, and the co-packer will do it. It will cost you next to nothing. Like they'll at the end of the day, this is what they do, right? They've got all the machinery and whatnot, so you don't have to worry about these huge expenses. And then, so it turns out that he actually had a co-packer down the road. He didn't quite understand how it worked. So the story goes, he ends up giving me a big bear hug. Again, I'm not a real big guy. He's a big 6'7" dude. He's like, ah. But the funnier story, my wife was hanging out with his wife, and they were drinking a glass of wine or doing whatever they're doing, and they're talking about this big guy and how he's been drinking every day. He's been in the pool. He goes in the morning, doesn't come out until nighttime, and he just pisses in the pool, and he's totally okay with it, right? His wife's like, I don't know, but he does it. So the story goes that I was sitting there, and I'm giving him this advice. And by the way, when he hugged me, he told me I changed his life because he decided 100% that he was going to go into dog food business, which, by the way, before I continue this, the dog food, you got to understand, guys, repeat business equals profit. Selling dogs for a living is a promotion. Remember, I was explaining fundamentals. Selling dogs is a promotion that you will sell for exactly 0. Okay? A dog food business is something that you're going to be able to sell for potentially, hundreds of thousands of dollars, potentially millions of dollars if you do it right. But the bottom line, like even right now, everybody's been locked in their houses by their governments. Your dog's still eating twice a day, right? So like there's certain businesses that are home run city, and dog food would be one, especially coming from a purebred business owner. But the most important thing is the word value. See, again, I describe value a little bit differently than most people understand it. Most people think of value where I sell you something for $20, it's actually worth 40, and you go, oh, that's good value. The way I think of value is something I can ultimately sell. So again, he's working even, at this for 5 years. At some stage, you're at it for 10 years. You want to be developing, creating value so that one day you can walk away and actually sell it and realize the value, right? So anyways, the story ended with him giving me a big bear hug, telling me how I changed his life. Because I told him, I said, I would give you the dog for free to sell you the dog food. The same way that I would give you the coffee machine for free to sell you the coffee. Right? And then I have a flagship client from back in the day. The guy built swimming pools for a living, right? Call it $50,000 pools. Well, the guy didn't. I said, do you sell chemicals? The story ended with his wife in tears and hugging me. And the guy hadn't had a holiday in 2 years to do. And I insisted they, pack up and go on a big holiday when we achieved our goals, which we did. But basically, this guy, he built swimming pools for a living. I said, do you sell chemicals? Do you sell chlorine? Do you service the pools, and do you open and close the pools? And the answer is no. I don't want to know about it. I'm like, why? And again, because he doesn't understand the fundamentals of business. He sees the $50,000 price tag and thinks that this is the business to be in. And by the way, when you understand the pool, it's $50,000, which is a nice big number, but there are a lot of expenses to go in it, a lot of headaches. Sometimes when everything goes smoothly, he makes a nice profit. Often everything goes sideways. He can also, his margins can become pretty slim, and quite frankly, it can be a 30-day exercise that is not very rewarding financially in any way, shape, or form. More importantly, you're never going to sell a business that builds pools. You will be able to sell a business that sells chlorine. You're building up value over time. So the story ended with the guy hugging me, telling me I changed his life, and I was standing in his piss the entire time while I gave him this apparently life-changing advice. So, hey, the water was warm. What the hell? With a little bit of fun. It was an email that I wrote that I got a lot of laughs out of. The fundamentals of business, guys, let's make sure you're not selling dogs. Let's make sure you're selling dog food. Again, business coaching is dog food. Grief coaching is dogs. Career coaching is dogs, right? You got to make sure you get it right. Would I sell shoes for a living? Yes, I'd sell shoes, but I would sell kids' shoes, not adult shoes. Why? Kids go through their shoes like crazy. The shoes I'm wearing right now, I've had them for 3 years, and I got no plans of buying any new ones, right? So anyway, I had that. So remember, again, I was taking all my lessons and putting them online so my clients could access to it, so I didn't have to spend all my time in that time for money quagmire of explaining all this stuff over the phone. Now, next up is strategies and tactics. Again, I'm creating audios, I'm creating videos that my clients are able to follow. So as an example, let's say, rather than just give you the strategies and the tactics, let me give you an example. So advertising the profit is a superpower. Most people will tell you that they built their business and they got it to XYZ by not spending $1 on advertising. They pump out their chest and like they're really proud of it. Again, there's a lot of stupid things you could say to me. That's amongst the stupidest. If you want to throw gasoline on your business, you learn to take advertising and turn it into profit. And then all those word of mouth and referrals and whatnot will just absolutely explode. If you really want to grow your business, you learn to do it through advertising. And once again, and now of course you're thinking, oh, this one anomaly. Okay, again, we don't deal with anomalies in business. I only deal with percentages. And on a percentage basis, we want to be able to take advertising and turn it into profit. An example, let's say we're working with the local chiropractor, okay? Advertising to profit. You're thinking, okay, so they run some ads and promote chiropractic. The problem, who the hell wants to go to a chiropractor? Not me, not you. And unless you've been in a car accident in the last 7 days, now everybody touch wood, everybody, unless you've been in a car accident in the last 7 days, why would, you're not interested in any way, shape, or form in going to see a chiropractor. But let me ask you a question. How'd you like a free massage? Well, here's what you do. The chiropractor advertises free massage. Okay, free massage, half-price massage, sweetest massage, couples massage. There's 50 ways to advertise massage profitably. Why? Because when I say chiropractic, you're no thank you. When I say massage, there's a ridiculously good chance you're like, yes, please. Well, what do we got to do? Because now you're thinking, but they're a chiropractor. What are we going to do? Bring them in for a massage, and then what? You got to get them from the massage to the chiropractor. You ask me, how do you do that? Like you do anything, you need a story. What does a story need? The same thing. Every episode of Seinfeld, Friends, Three's Company back in the day, which, by the way, loved that show. Chrissy, that small, very large crush on her. But anyways, let's continue with the big boobs. But anyway, so Chrissy, there's conflict. I can't believe I just said that. There's conflict in the middle of it. Otherwise, there's no show or there's no movie, right? So basically, you need to have conflict. So the massage therapist needs to tell a story, but the story needs to have a little bit of conflict in order for some action to be taken. Let me give you an example. I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you to go into the chat box, and if you guys know who Jim McMahon from the Chicago Bears 1985 is, I want you to put a 1 in the chat box. Oh, I got a bunch more answers here from my... Oh, there we go. If you know who Jim McMahon, come on, guys. I'm looking at you. You got to come. Otherwise, I'm not going to move on, and you're going to spoil it for everybody else, and you don't want to be that guy or that girl. Come on. I'm looking at you. Still don't have everybody. Do you know? Oh, by the way, 2 if you don't know who the hell he is. 2 if you don't know who the hell he is. Okay. I screwed up my own example for you guys. Hey, there you go. Okay. Put a 6 if you think I'm incredibly handsome. There you go. Do a 6 if you think I'm doing a great job. There you go. Come on, guys. I need some participation here, guys. I'm sitting. Oh, look at that. Damn. You guys think I'm good looking. You must not have noticed my big nose and my pot belly and my lack of belly button and everything else. Okay, so I continue. Now, where the hell was I? I forget. Chicago Bears. So the massage therapist has got to get you upstairs, right? So they need a story. Jim McMahon, 85 Bears. The story is really good-looking guy, won a Super Bowl, quarterback, front of GQ, front of Rolling Stone. Look, he's a stud, right? If you're a guy and you like football, I mean, it's pretty hard. You either hated Jim McMahon or you loved Jim McMahon. I was one of the guys that loved Jim McMahon. I thought he was a legend, right? So basically but unfortunately, the poor bastard, he has got early onset dementia. Well, football, again, he's going to, a lot of head injuries and whatnot happen. Some people, have absolutely zero issues, and some people have some challenges. Well, basically, they just assumed that he was having some problems, and he kept going to these head specialists. Well, he went to go see a chiropractor, and he tweaked his neck, and guess what? He said it was like a toilet was flushing from his head down into the rest of his body, and what was actually happening is he wasn't getting enough oxygen through his neck to his brain, right? And it brought on early onset dementia. It didn't need to be happening, right? They were looking at the wrong freaking thing. So anyways, so that's what happened, and they can't reverse the damage that was done. So what's done is done, but it's not getting any worse, and he's living, as close as he possibly can to a normal life. So here's my question for you: how do you know it doesn't need to be so bad that you get early onset dementia? How do you know you have enough oxygen running through your neck to your brain? And let me ask you another question: have you ever felt lethargic when you felt like you probably shouldn't be feeling lethargic? Or have you ever felt tired when you really felt like you probably shouldn't be feeling tired? Upstairs you go. Boom. Who's not going to say yes to that, right? Who doesn't feel tired every once in a while, right? Beautiful. But there's a little bit of conflict in there. It's a story. The same way Gary Vaynerchuk. He would run, how did he build a, whatever it was, a $20 million, a $60 million maybe alcohol or liquor store? He would advertise Budweiser and Jim Beam for cost or below cost. You'd come into the store, and then he would story tell to get you to buy all the wines that he had these huge margins on. He did storytelling, right? Same thing. It's the same thing here. So you get them from massage. Is everybody going to go upstairs and get the test? No. But 33% do, and you are crushing it, and you have got a model to be able to make more money than God and not stop growing, and you don't have the glass ceiling. All right. But the same way that a business coach, when I do an event and I put 100 people in the room, if 30 buy, I'm crushing it. And when everybody walks in the room, I don't know which 70 aren't going to buy. That's why you do the presentations. That's why you build the models, right? And by the way, that's totally fine, right? You put them in your funnel and maybe you'll sell them in the future. So the same thing goes here. If they 33% go up to the chiropractor, he's got a model to make money. There's another part of the story that's very important. The chiropractor, if there's one on here, I open them up. I guarantee you, with ridiculous predictability, like 100% predictability, in the top three and probably number one challenge the chiropractor has, that people come to the chiropractor, they've had an accident, they got a sore neck, a sore back, a sore shoulder, they get short-term relief, and then they don't come back. The same way that you go to the dentist, you get your teeth cleaned, you go, oh my God, I got to come back. This time I'm coming back for sure in 6 months. 2 years later, you come back. The difference is you come with a present called a cavity, that you're like, shit, I should have come back every 6 months. And the dentist says, I tell you so. The chiropractor, same thing. You come back in a year and a half and your back is much worse, right? It's a struggle. And they end up making hundreds instead of thousands when they should have, because you should have been coming on a regular schedule. So what does the chiropractor need? How do you combat that? He needs a $5,000 program. Because as long as a chiropractor is pay as you go, he's always going to battle, or she is going to battle, and most of them are. They need to have $5,000 programs. Now you're thinking, how the hell, who's going to go to a chiropractor and buy a $5,000 program? That's not happening. With the right story, with the right conflict, absolutely will happen. And it will happen, guess what number? 33% of the time. Do the model I just described, free massage to $5,000 chiropractor. I know chiropractors that have $25,000 programs, and yes, they sell them. Think third-party financing, vendor financing, payment terms, etc. And it works, guys. And will everybody buy it? No. 33% do. You're crushing it. So anyways, I was creating those strategies and tactics. Got the same thing in a whole bunch of categories of business. Going to my online archive, remember, I wanted to have network effects working in my business. Well, I built all these marketing libraries. So if you go to chiropractor and click that, everything I just described, like all my chiropractic material, boom, just out, basically falls down. There it is. You go to dentist, you click it, there it is. You go to daycare and click it, boom, there you go. So I created all these marketing libraries because, again, I was hopelessly disorganized, and I wanted my clients to be able to go in there and very intuitively be able to find everything I were looking for. And then I took it one step further, and I created these resource libraries, okay? So the top resource library, you're going to see that it says advertising. So, and again, it's super intuitive, I didn't want to create a low-end program that cost me more time, right? Remember, in the words of Jeff Bezos, and I can't begin to tell you how intelligent this is, in his words, raving fans don't send support tickets, okay? I don't know if that hammers home quite on the level that maybe it will one day. And keep in mind, guys, I'm the online, software and that sort of stuff, and been studying at a very high level for a long time. But think about that. Raving fans don't send support tickets. If you're getting too many support tickets, that means that your process isn't right yet. Bottom line is I wanted these guys to be able to go in and find everything they're looking for. Here it is. So at the top, we've got advertising libraries. Boom. They all open up. Elevator pitch library / custom $1 million messages. So when I first got started in coaching, I built a very large business coaching company. I used to do $400,000 a month, built a $5.5 million coaching company. And then I decided to go online, and I built a membership site, and I decided to target, my target market were coaches, because that just kind of made sense to me. So my first one, I built the membership site, and I had to create a hook, or $1 million message in this instance. So I called it, thinking back a long time, how I earned $187,000 in my first 9 months online as a coach, right? And I plugged in a couple hundred people at $97 a month. And then I built a list of thousands of coaches, and a couple hundred bought. Well, I thought to myself, okay, well, what am I going to do with these thousands of people who didn't buy? So I thought, well, look, I'm going to build another membership site. I did a little bit of a survey, looked at, for what they were specifically looking for on average. They wanted to be able to drive traffic on Google. So then I created another membership site, very similar, some similar and overlapping content, but a totally different process, and it was how I generated 250 hot new coaching leads in 90 days using Google. Kaboom! I plugged in another couple of cheese, more than that, another 200 plus members at $97 a month on my next membership site. Right? And if you follow my emails and you know my stuff today, you know that I'll find any business owner $100,000 in 45 minutes without them spending an extra dollar on marketing or advertising. Well, the three messages that I just gave you, what I call $1 million messages, the first one was how I earned $187,000 my first 9 months online as a coach. The second one is how I generated 250 hot new coaching leads in 90 days using Google. And the third one was I can find any business owner $100,000 in 45 minutes without them spending an extra dollar on marketing or advertising. Well, they all run off on the same template. Okay, so if you hit elevator pitch library /$1 million messages, the first thing that pops up is the elevator or the template, and then underneath that you've got chiropractors, dentist, accountant, etc. So if you're looking for $1 million message for an accountant, you click it and there it is. And then the next one you'll see, the third box down, is my email library. Same thing. I had all these drip campaigns and whatnot that I was helping business owners put together and build. So you go there, you click dentist, the emails, the drip campaign for the dentist, boom, pops up. And again, guys were getting access to this online. It was very intuitive and they could find it without me being involved. The next one is sales letters. The next one is scripts, etc. Another thing I needed to have, a methodology. Here, guys, why do business coaches take business owners on or business coaching clients, lose them in 90 days, and have that to be like it's predictable? Much like the chiropractor gets pissed when people have short-term results and disappear. Why do business coaches lose clients in 90 days? The reason? Subtraction versus addition. You guys are playing addition and you need to start playing attraction or subtraction, okay? Like a real mentor, guys, can tell you what not to do. I want you to, if you don't learn anything today, I want you to learn that. A true mentor, because let's face it, there's a lot of pretenders out there. You want to know when someone's giving you advice and whatnot, you need to be able to direct them, or they need to be able to direct you on what not to do, and you should be doing the same thing with your business owners. Think subtraction versus addition. Have a look at my methodology. When they went to the back of my system, I knew there needed to be something, I refer to it as railroad tracks. I got to be able to put them on railroad tracks so when they fall off, help them very easily with an email or a 2-minute phone call, basically get them back on the railroad track. So the 5 steps, there's actually 7, truth be told, but in the interest of time that I have today, I've got the core 5 that live in the middle. So what does the methodology look like? Number 1 is lead generation. Okay, you see I got 51 ways to do it, and my baseline is 1,000. So these are phone calls, emails, opt-ins on a website, referrals, right? Real simple. Step number 2 is conversions. On my online archive, I had 56 different strategies on how to increase conversions. An example of one would be a money-back guarantee. Like as coaches, we can offer a money-back guarantee. We might get pissed off, or we might feel taken advantage of, but it's not somebody asking for their money back is not going to send us into bankruptcy. Well, if you're a realtor and you sell an $800,000 house with a money-back guarantee, you might not be so fortunate, right? It might be a little bit of a disaster. That's why there's 55 other strategies, or another one is a puppy dog close, right? So you're a coach. Tony Robbins made this famous. You coach me for free for 3 weeks, and then in the 4th week, you close me, right? Well, if you're an established coach and you got 15 clients, I wouldn't be recommending that. But if you were brand new and you could use the practice, that could be a perfect strategy. You know, what do they say? Two birds, one stone. Is that what I'm looking for? But anyway, so puppy dog close. There's 54 other strategies. It's designed so every business owner can go in there, grab 3, and then leave. Very importantly, guys, bite-sized chunks, keeping on railroad tracks, and you're going to see this is a one-way street to be able to double any business owner's profit. Step number 3, transactions. If we go to McDonald's and they say, do you want fries with that? That would be an example of step number 3. I got 37 strategies in my online archive. Step number 4 is higher pricing. What are we going to do here? Let's go back to McDonald's and they say, do you want me to supersize that? That would be an example of step number 4. And then step number 5 is profit margins. $1 saved is $1 earned. Step number 5, look, this is up there in terms of importance with returning the library book. But unfortunately, that's a huge mistake. I just finished a book, Accounting 101 for Business Coaches, how to how to find your high-end coaching fees prior to starting with your new high-end coaching client. Be coming out reasonably soon, 90 days. At the end of the day, step number 5 is one. I'm the sales and marketing guy through and through. That comes very naturally to me. Accounting and finance is kind of like when I first started to learn it. I gotta, had to put toothpicks in my eyes to keep me awake because I was reading it and learning it. But very, very important. An example, if you hit the accelerator with this client and you earn them $1, how much do they keep? Notice they got 25% margin. You earn them $1, how much do they keep? Hopefully you're saying 25 cents, right? Because that would be right. 75 cents goes to expenses. When you go to their expenses and their credit card statements and you save them $1, how much do they keep? And the answer, and hopefully you're saying this, 100 cents, right? There's a 75-cent gap. If I charge $2,000 a month, 24 grand a year, where's a better place to start? Saving the money or making the money? And the answer would be saving the money big time. Another quick example. If you got a business owner that did $800,000 last year and they have $400,000 of break even, and then if they have let's assume they got 60% gross profit margins and 20% net profit margins or ratios. That may or may not make sense, guys. Just follow my example. If that's like a bunch of, like a bunch of Chinese arithmetic for you, just follow me here. They did 400 grand and they did 400 grand, a break even and $800,000 in gross revenues. Well, 60 and 20, which would be about right with your clients for 60% gross ratios and 20% net. What happens is on the first 400,000, they make 20%, okay, which is 80 grand profit. On the second 400, once you hit break even, everything gets more exciting, is really what I want you to take away from this. On the second 400,000, they make 240 grand. A little bit of a difference from the first 400. But they don't have a friggin' clue where their break even is. You don't have a clue where their break even is, and they don't care and they don't think it matters. That example hopefully explains to you that absolutely it matters, and you should know, you are here, that little red arrow, that should be part of that. I want to know where their break even is, and I want my clients to become proud of managing expenses, not to the detriment of growth, because this is a longer conversation, to be clear, because again, Jeff Bezos would get on the phone and say, I don't necessarily buy into that, but do understand he's a very special and different specimen. For your average, you're talking about the restaurant, we're talking about the chiropractor, the dentist, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker that you're probably coaching. Those guys want to listen to everything I just said, and I would be right. But there's anomalies to everything, but I don't play with anomalies. I do percentages, right? So with that being said, check this out, a 10% increase. Guys, I could do this in 30 days with any client in any industry, that easy. I'm also very experienced, and I have a very pit bull kind of attitude with this stuff, where when I coach a client, I really don't have a lot of sympathy. I have empathy, but no sympathy, as in they tell me they don't have time. I don't just buy into it, right? I just tell them, find the damn time, get up a little bit earlier, stay up a little bit later, get 30 minutes less sleep, right? You'll be okay, right? On the weekend, sleep in. Let's rock and roll. Let's get this stuff done. Bottom line, look at this. If they're $2 grand a month, that's 24 grand a year. Guys, you go from 62,000 to 100 grand. That's $40,000 of jam. You do this in 90 days with any client, falling off a log, provided you don't do your best. Your best is exactly why it doesn't get done. You got to do what it takes. But when you do what it takes, this is 40 grand. These guys aren't canceling you under any circumstances anytime soon, and you have almost doubled their return. And that's a little piddly, pathetic business making 62 grand. If you live in Sydney, Toronto, London, New York, LA, you're on food stamps. Check this out, a 50% increase in the 5 areas of my online archive, my business coaching membership site followed. Check it out. Boom. You changed this person's life for now, forever, kaboom. But anyway, so I had that methodology, which is very important. I then took all my content and I turned it into an online dashboard. At the top, I had the fundamentals. I told you I got 30 fundamentals to grow a business. Next up, instant cash flow. I meet business owners all the time. I got no money. Well, hey, here's a crazy idea. Let's go make them some freaking money so they can pay you, right? Well, I created 14 videos that do it for them that should put 10 grand in their bank account within 30 to 45 days, provided they follow through. I got the 5 steps I just went: leads, conversions, transactions, pricing, and profits. And then the last one is licensing and franchising. That's my background, licensing and franchising. I've written more franchising documentation than you could shake a stick at. I've licensed my own companies and whatnot. Bottom line is, when you really hit a home run, guys, you want to make sure you've got those things in place. My membership site, my online archive, has exactly that. You should too. The good news is everything was only a mouse click away, and it provided leverage, so that my clients had, basically solutions on demand. Boom. They just had to go in there and click what they were looking for. They had access to it 24/7. My clients started absolutely raving, and then it dawned on me, holy smokes, look at this. This is what they wanted. Remember, they wanted everything done for them. I just showed it to you. World class, you betcha. Desperately want to improve it and test it, turnkey marketing. I just showed you a bunch of examples, and they don't have any money to pay for it. Well, guess what? I did it for $97 a month, and again, this allowed me to monetize every single person I sat with. All those people that thought, oh, Karl, you're great, and geez, I want to follow you, and I want to do this stuff. I had a way, I had a downsell to be able to get them going. All right, and not to mention, it was a JV tool on steroids. Check this out. So with fear of confusing anybody, and I don't think I'm going to confuse anybody with this, but try follow me. Look, I charge $97 a month, but that doesn't mean it's what it's worth. It's worth $500 a month times 10 on steroids, right? So I could very comfortably say to anybody, look, it's full retail. It's $500 a month. Well, $500 a month times 12 is $6,000. Well, I go to the radio station, I give them 6 memberships up front. How much is that? That's $60,000 that I'm giving it to them. What does the radio station do? What are the radio station looking for? They're looking for new business owners and new advertisers all the time. They run a draw on the radio that says, hey guys, if you got a new local business, we've got a 12-month mentorship available at davesmithuniversity.com. Come check it out. Be the 15th caller and win. They get 50 phone calls. The 15th caller wins. They've got 50 people they can follow up and sell advertising to, because why are they calling in? They're trying to grow their business. It's a beautiful little play, right? And now I've got a business relationship with the radio station. Guess what? Now we're back and forth. We're working together. Or I go to the accountant with a similar offer. Give him 3 memberships. You know that he's got people that are struggling and not really getting anywhere. Again, it's $6,000 of value. Give them 3 membership, right? That's $18,000 of value. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You've now got a way to get into the joint venture partner's office and get a relationship built, versus what most people are doing is going to the accountant and say, hey, you do this for me, I'll do this for you. Everybody wants to horse trade. If you know me, guys, like, my magazine, I don't do joint ventures, right? Everybody thinks I'm absolutely crazy. I've got people that, promote my stuff, and I overpay for them to do that. But I don't do joint ventures. Why? It's a bunch of horse trading stuff. And the way I see it, I go, I'll just do my stuff, you do yours, and we can just support one another. That makes more sense. So the bottom line, guys, this is a partnership strategy on steroids. And this is a way for you to get the ball rolling with the accountant, with the business broker, with the digital marketer, with the chamber, the person selling websites, the guy doing graphic design, the butcher, the baker, anybody going B2B, whammo, bammo, thank you, mammo. So anyway, once I had to create that arrow, you are here, to avoid overwhelm. I hadn't quite worked out how to do it. I had a few false starts. But at the end of the day, once I managed to do that, I knew I was going to have myself a business coaching membership site. So what is a business coaching membership site? Real simple. I either grant people access or they pay for access. And I plug them in. All the business gurus had them, and I figured I should have one too. One of the benefits of having my own business coaching membership site, well, easy access to my valuable content 24/7. It's all the work that sometimes I came up with. I'm a pretty stupid guy, but every once in a while I come up with something cool. I now had a place to go take that and basically put it so that all my clients would leverage. Again, think network effects. My site does 90% of the heavy lifting. Coaches all the time are showing up and they're explaining goal setting for 20 minutes and time management for 20 minutes. Send them to your online video and then get them on the phone, because success in coaching is about application, not information. This is why a lot of coaches struggle. I also had this time for money quagmire that drove me nuts, and I bet it's driving you nuts too. Globally, like, I lived in Australia for 15 years. I'm Canadian. I live in Canada now. I got clients in 24 countries. Most of them are in the U.S., so again, I didn't want to be, stuck doing things locally, and didn't think I felt like I was above that. I was able to, or not above is a bad word, but you know what I mean? I don't want to just operate locally. That's just not it's not the way my mind worked, right? Good, bad, and different. That's the way it was. I wanted to be able to monetize and impact every prospect I met. I had a product versus the time for money quagmire. Again, you guys get that one. And ultimately, I wanted to build a passive recurring revenue stream and one that I always dreamt of. I'm always cautious to use the word passive because I own some real estate. And again, when the toilet goes, I got to show up. But the bottom line, guys, 7 to 10 folks couldn't afford me. So look, I had to send them somewhere. Just, those 7, I'd kiss them on the lips, wish them luck, called me if things improved. They never did. No, thank you. These folks, they wanted and needed my help. They just couldn't afford it. It didn't feel real good. If you're a coach at a visceral level, you never not want to help people, right? No doubt you know that one. They'll jump at a low-cost program to get started. I could see activity. So this is how I close the high-end folks falling off a log. Basically, I could see the activity when somebody went in there, on a weekly, let's say they're not going in for my good looks, and I could see if you went in there every day for 7 days. Well, I turn that around and I don't send you an email and say, hey, I saw you were in my email, because that won't work well. That feels like Big Brother and work against you a lot of the time. What you do is you go, hey, Dave, I was just thinking about you for this reason, or hey, I haven't had a chance to introduce myself, or hey, I was, blah, 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 blah. Or I saw this article and it reminded me of that conversation we had 60 days ago and we got together and you told me you couldn't afford my higher end coaching. So basically what you do is you see their activity. And remember, just because someone is broke today does not mean that they are broke tomorrow. There was a time in Jeff Bezos' life where he was absolutely short on dough. It is a very silly strategy to be like, again, it's that short-term instant gratification thought process, and it murders your business, your clients' businesses, everybody's business. You've got to be able to think a little bit bigger than that. But the bottom line is when I saw activity in the site, I'd reach out to them. I'd get them on the horn. Everything on my site always became a 15-minute phone call, and I sold all kinds of high-end clients exactly like that. So my membership site is a low-cost, ham-free product that produced some passive revenue for me. So I sold my memberships for $97. Doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it's over $1,000. They received 24/7 access to my site. I got 161 members in my first 9 months. I had one JV partner who was a business broker. And I remember he asked me, he goes, Karl, I'm paying you $97 a month. And I said, yep. He goes, how many people do you got doing that? And I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I'll get back to you. When we chat next Tuesday, I'll let you know. So I spoke to him and I'm like, yeah, man, I got 161 folks. And he's like, wow. And again, notice the number 187, how I earned $187,000 my first 9 months online as a coach, basically how it came about. And he said, you know what? You've got an asset that you're going to be able to sell for $350 to $400 grand. And I went, wow. That's when the penny dropped. And that's when I said, every business to business, business development person, business coach, accountant, what have you, I am going to make sure that they understand the power of having a membership site, and I'm going to help them get one in their hands. So you say, well, shit, I want to have one of those too. Damn, how do I do it? Well, look, there's 6 steps to building a membership site. I'm going to go through each of these 6 steps individually. So number 1, you got to identify your ideal clients. 96% of businesses on planet Earth do not make it to $1 million. That is not $1 million of profit. That's $1 million gross. That surprises a lot of people when I give them that stat. But remember, when you meet a business coach, or I meet them all the time, and they tell me, I only go to $5 million, $10 million, $25 million companies, right? That's fine, but let me just tell you, I'll introduce me to that guy, and I'll introduce you to somebody who's not going to scale under any circumstances. You can't scale a business when you're going to 0.0000001% of the population. And again, maybe you can. There are always anomalies, but I don't deal with anomalies. I deal with percentages. You're better to go with the mass market approach. And I always encourage all the coaches that are working with us to go to the small business owners trying to get to $1 million, because those are the ones you can really crush it with. Now, you got to create a list of content people are going to look for. I identified exactly 30. Remember, there's 30 fundamentals to business, not 29, not 31. There's exactly 30. And then I have my 5-step methodology so that I can play subtraction versus addition. Quick start program. No businesses must generate cash flow. Guys, basically, I created 14 videos that put $10,000 in their bank account within 30 to 45 days. What that allowed me to do is to meet the guys who were broke, put money in their bank account, and then my $2,000 a month coaching fees or whatever I was charging at the time basically could come out of the money that I then made them, and it really strengthened our relationship. You got to be careful doing short-term instant gratification stuff to make money to do harm to long-term strategy. So as they say, strategy tactics for breakfast, and it's no different here. So always keep one eye on strategy, but at the end of the day, you got to put money in their bank account. You should be doing that, and that's what the 14 videos do. But you've also got to have an eye on long-term results. So marketing goes without saying. Sales, they need proven templates and effective sales funnels, step-by-step strategies, tactics, and resources. Online marketing and social media. Be careful with this one. People love to get lost in social media and play on Facebook and Instagram all day. So be careful with that one. If they do it, look, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes late afternoon, get out of there. They're off. That's it, right? And then, by the way, advertising the profit. I wish this is one that they were all in love with. This is the one that they kind of poo-poo at, and they say, oh, I've never advertised $1 in my life, and they're really proud of it. Again, that's just stupidity and from somebody who really doesn't understand how to throw gasoline on a business. Case studies. So I took all of these strategies and all these successful concepts, and then I built case studies because I found with a lot of my more successful clients, I don't need to do all this work. I'd provide them a case study that they could read through it, and they had, oh, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. And ironically enough, case studies work best. Like, let's say we're working with a chiropractor. Don't give them a chiropractor case study because it won't have the same level of impact. Why? Because they get all these paradigms, and they need a paradigm shift. They've got all these paradigms that they're locked in, and these walls that they operate within, and they just do them more harm than good. So using an example outside of their industry, you'll find will be better. And of course, licensing and franchising. I showed you some of that content. You got to acquire the content. When I got started, I basically created 80%. Bought 5. If I did it again, I would reverse these numbers and buy 80%. I got over 200 hours of step-by-step instructional video. I once printed off the site map for my site. So that's not the content. That's just a list of the content. And I think it was 63 pages to put it in perspective. So again, my membership site, the one that I provide for my coaches, is to say that it's exhaustive and impressive would be an understatement. But the bottom line is I do that. I also barter 5% of the material I bartered for. Like, I'll do this for you, you do that for me. And then I exchange some content that I had because I had lots of it. So that's basically how I got mine together. You will have to acquire your own content. You don't want to hold back there. I also had to position the content so that's easily accessible and simple to locate. I want you to think of all my the advertising libraries, the messaging libraries, the sales letter libraries, the email libraries, etc. And then also it needed to be intuitive. So think of that as the 5-step methodology: leads, conversions, transactions, pricing, and then profits. So if somebody falls off the railroad tracks, easy to get them back on. Easy to get them back on. This is why I can very comfortably say to anybody, I could help you double your profits, provided they engage with me. I will be able to do it falling off a log. It takes time, and sometimes more time than ideal, but we'll absolutely get there. The last thing, you got to be able to duplicate your coaching process without your involvement. Again, you got to be able to take that snapshot, or you got to create that red arrow. You are here, and effectively they're already almost overwhelmed. So you've got to be able to provide this stuff in bite-sized chunks. Because this, again, why coaches lose coaching clients is basically the client's already overwhelmed, and then you give them more things to do, and you just accelerate them towards overwhelm, right? You motivate an idiot, they do stupid things quicker. So this is why you're losing clients, and a lot of business coaches are losing clients. At the end of the day, once I'd worked this out, I knew that I had myself a business coaching membership site. I had a lot of, false starts and do-overs, but I eventually got there. Here it is: leads, conversions, transactions, pricing, profits. Again, you'll see that it's designed around the 5 steps. But at the end of the day, if you want to build a membership site, you need these 5 things: an assessment that spits out a roadmap, a methodology that they can use, business fundamentals, there are 30 of them, quick start program, and long-term results. Really quickly, guys, let me show you my site. Okay, so this is my membership site here. You're going to see a very handsome son of a gun come flying across there. Guys, we are flying. I know I'm going 100 miles an hour. Do me a favor, put a 3 in there if I'm doing a good job. If you're still with me, put a 3 in there. There we go. Look at this. Damn. I'm trying to read some of the comments here, but I can't. Anyways, guys, we're going to keep crying. Guys, any questions? If you have questions, just chuck them in the box. I'll get to them at the end here. I might go a couple minutes over. I hope you guys don't mind. But bottom line, here is my membership site. I go here. I'm probably going to have to log myself out and log back in. So this is my membership site. Spent over $1 million building this bad boy. We go in there. The first thing that happens is someone will come in and not do that. They will come in here and do this. Fill out this roadmap around the 5 areas. They go analyze. System starts to think. Depending upon their answers, the entire system adjusts accordingly, according to the weighted algorithm. Let's assume they end up in lead generation. I hit resources. Remember the resource libraries I showed you earlier? Here's the ad library. I go through. Boom, I got turnkey marketing built in 125 different categories of business. Let's say that you're working with a cosmetic surgeon. This is a $60,000 marketing system for a cosmetic surgeon. Imagine you're charging $2,000 a month. This is a $60,000 marketing system. I'm not very good at math, but I think that would be a $58,000 discount on day one. Boom. So there you go. And then we go into the weekly series. Your client's probably not going to be a cosmetic surgeon. So you click every week, there's a new video that comes out that guides them on how to create all this stuff. I got audio for those that want to watch, that listen. I got a video for those that want to watch. We've got text, and then we've got a workbook for every lesson. So all the different modalities covered. I'd love to show you guys a little bit more, but I'm running a little bit over here. So let's keep cranking. The bottom line, guys, well, here's an example of a guy that spent $60,000 with us. He's a cosmetic surgeon. Two big mistakes he's making. Number one, he's driving traffic. He was spending $7,000 a month on Google AdWords. Remember, you are here, that red arrow, had to establish it. This is where he's sending folks. I'm like, man, you're sending people to a website. What are you doing? Like, you don't want to drive into a website because, look, they got Meet Our Doctors, before and after photos, etc., about us. They're going to get lost in translation, right? And forget about you, get pulled away, shiny light syndrome, and end up on Facebook and forget about you. You drive traffic on a website to a squeeze page where you squeeze their email address out. The end, okay? The second, so that squeeze page, this is a website. You don't drive traffic to a website, right? Number two, nurture the body that will provoke true envy. My wife is over the age of 40, done having kids. These guys do mummy makeovers. He would be their target audience. My wife, the message inside her head or the conversation in her head is most definitely not, I don't know what it is. I am not a mind reader, but I'm pretty sure it's not, I'm going to nurture this body to provoke your envy, right? That sounded kind of ridiculous. What is it? How would you like to get the body back you had before you had kids? Well, we basically put that message together. He almost dived through the phone when I said it and said, here's my credit card, charge me whatever you want. And we changed it. We basically tripled this click-through rate and doubled the profitability of the campaign. Basically, we changed it to this. We put together an eye-opening report, candid answers about mummy makeover surgeries, and you'll see that there's nothing to do on this page but sign up now. We also put what I think that looked like a 21-year-old bombshell, and I think that looks like a 35, 40-year-old beautiful woman. You're going to get better with that photo than the other. Bottom line, that's what we did. So bam. So I hear you saying to yourself, damn, I should get myself a membership site. This sounds like a good idea. I don't have $100,000. I don't have 3 years, and I don't have to spend $10,000 to $15,000 a year managing it because of all the IT issues that naturally come with something like a membership site. So guess what? For 10 coaches and 10 coaches only, and I can tell you as I go here, I've got a solid over 100 of you legends, and thank you very much, by the way. So I got 100 of you with me. So I'm only doing this for 10 coaches, guys. Legitimately, I'm going to spend $5,000 to get you set up. Again, leave your credit card at home. We're going to get you going. Bingo, bango, bungo. Now, you say $5,000. Karl, is that some arbitrary number? Let me show you and prove to you that we are going to spend exactly that. First thing we're going to do is set up your own online university. Think of it as a membership site. Think of it as an online business academy. Think about it as an MBA in a box delivered online. We do it all for you. Right there, it will be set up. You don't lift a finger. All my guys go to work. Audio, video, text, workbooks. Everything is created for you. The 14 videos, you meet people all the time that are broke, and I got to tell you, over the next 12 months, unfortunately, there's going to be plenty of people to be able to afford you. There's going to be a lot of people who can't. Here's 14 videos that is going to put $10,000 in their bank account within 30 to 45 days of them starting. This is going to allow you to take those broke folks and turn them into your higher-end coaching clients. At an absolute minimum, you're going to have members on your online site and some passive revenue through your online academy. I'm going to put you through my 2 days of world-class coaches training where I'm going to show you exactly word for word, step-by-step, chronological order, exactly how I close $50,000 coaching clients. And I'm going to train you on how I find any business owner $100,000 in 45 minutes without them spending an extra dollar on marketing or advertising. Knowing and doing are two different things. So I am going to pay for your coach to get you going, hold you accountable, kick you in the pants, and get you cranking. I'm also going to put together, as you're selling those $12,000 to $50,000 coaching clients, I've got agreements in place with 5 to 20% contingency deals, and I've got all that paperwork and all that language ready to go because you want to make sure that you don't sign up a client that ends up franchising at only $2,000 a month and forget to put a contingency in place because you could do yourself out of a few hundred thousands of dollars. And I'm going to provide you another coach, a higher level coach, to generate some leads leads with you to kick you in the pants. Because again, knowing and doing are two different things. The expectation, you put $100,000 in your bank account in 8 months. I hear you saying, Karl, really? We've been locked inside for 90 days. Are we going to be able to do that? I got some really good news for you guys. If you're a business coach, I got great news. We are about to have the biggest boom that we've ever seen in our industry. Take it to the bank. Why? Disturbed people buy. When I do a presentation in a live room, let's say there's 10 people in the room, I don't want a standing ovation. I want to have them all with tears in their eyes welled up. If you ever been to Tony Robbins, you see it en masse, okay? Why? Because disturbed people move. We're not looking for a standing ovation. We're looking for disrupted people that are going to do something. Well, there's a lot of disrupted people out there right now. There's another reason why we're going to have a boom. Have you ever cleaned out your fridge? You clean out your fridge, you go back to it, you open up, you go, it's empty, right? Well, 30 days, what happens? You open up your fridge and you're like, it's full, right? Okay, well, what happens? This is the universe. These are universal principles, okay? Those 25% of businesses that are going bye-bye, and that's what's happening, 25% are about to open back up, but it'll be a different business owner. The ones who leave, a lot of them won't come back straight away. They're going to go back to the corporate world and make 120 grand and pay 40% tax and not realize it, by the way. But anyways, they're going to go back, and a lot of business owners are going to be getting started. Without doubt, those are great coaching clients for you. Another thing we're going to do is we do what we call weekly Ask the Expert call. Think of it as group coaching. We got hundreds of coaches. We're not here trying to pretend like we know it all, because quite frankly, we absolutely do not. We've got hundreds of coaches and some incredibly talented coaches, many of which are some of the top coaches in the world that you follow, and you've seen their material. Quite frankly, I guarantee you've seen some gurus, you've seen the material, but it was actually our material that they were using and not their own, right? But why would, when we've built a system that is this robust, why not use it? This isn't their $100,000 program that I'm showing you. It's not their $250,000 program. This is their $100 a month online program, right? The membership site. Why would they bother to do it when we've taken this time and money to set it up so properly? End of the day, you're going to get on the weekly Ask the Expert call. We got hundreds of coaches. They're going to be there to help and support you. You want to know how to get online clients? We're going to guide you. You want to know how to get offline clients? We're going to guide you. You're working with a realtor and you're like, guys, can somebody help? We get hundreds of coaches to chime in. Some of the magic that happens on those calls will blow you away. We also have an exclusive Facebook group. That is a very bad photo of 800 people. But anyways, we got over 800 coaches on our Facebook group. Again, you're looking for help. The coaches that do the best with us are the ones that are most engaged. The ones that help the others are the ones that go up, a number of notches. But at the end of the day, you're going to have hundreds of coaches there helping you. Hopefully, you're going to be helping them. We're helping everybody. It's a big community. Weekly group coaching webinars. Every business coach should have group coaching going, but they don't. Why? You get it going. You get 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks into it. Only 2 people show up. You go, this is stupid. It's not really a group. I'm just going to bring these 2 people into one-to-one coaching, and I'll come back to group coaching, which you never do, right? Well, I'm going to do it for you, and at any stage, once you get it going, you get your 9th, 10th, 11th, 12 people in it. We just change the phone number and change the opt-in number, and basically you've got your own group coaching going. You charge $500 a month. Do the math. Get 10 people into it. That's $5 grand a month times 12. That's $60,000 a year. You don't lift a finger. We do all the work for you. My marketing campaign library, I got 125. I've got turnkey marketing built in 125 different categories of business. I showed you the daycare a little bit earlier. They rank between $50,000 and $125,000 for the full turnkey. Some are significantly more built out than others, to be clear, but they're 90% completed. You take their phone number off and put your client's phone number on, ready to rock and roll. There are some of the categories of business that they're in. What do they look like? Here's a bathroom remodeler. Look, this is a $60,000 marketing system for a bathroom remodeler. Again, you charge $2 grand a month. You come basically armed with this. That's a $58,000 discount on day one. That's for a dentist. This is a home remodeler, a home organizer. You want to help a home organizer get going? Boom, there it is. Roofing contractor, done for you. Imagine how much more valuable that makes you to your client, and how much easier is that going to be? Think of network effects working in your favor. What did I just show you? What do you get? Where does the $5 grand come from? I am going to spend $5,000 to get, but only the first 10 coaches, folks, and the 11th one's going to miss out. The 11th one can sign up, but you're paying $5 grand up front. You get group coaching done for you, 10 clients is $60 grand a year. in your bank account. 2 days of world-class coaches training, step-by-step, word for word, chronological order, exactly how I close $50,000 coaching clients. I pay for a coach to hold you accountable. Weekly Ask the Expert call with hundreds of coaches around the world. Exclusive Facebook coaching community. I introduce you to every one of my clients on day one. If we were full of poo-poo, if the $100,000 in 45 minutes didn't really work, that would be a bad idea. If we told you we could help you fill local live events and we really couldn't, that would be a bad idea, etc. I'm going to train you on exactly how to find any business owner $100,000 in 45 minutes without them spending an extra dollar on marketing or advertising. The magic is once I've trained you on this, I can't take it away. You have it for the rest of your life. And this is some training that you're going to want to get your hands on. I'll give you the red hot tip on that one. Complete marketing campaign library. Again, I just showed you a few of them and the cosmetic surgeon, etc. Now, for the first 10 coaches and 10 coaches only, I have got a bonus offer. In fact, I have got 3. Live event mastery. I have personally filled over 400 local live events. I can show you, falling off a log, exactly how to do it as well. It is not magic. It is hard work, but if you follow it, you're going to crush it. You get 5 to 10 business owners together. You do 2-hour events. Give them breakfast. You go over what is and is not working locally. We've got scripts for everything. Get a couple of sponsors that it could end up potentially costing you nothing. You basically offer a $10,000 challenge. By the way, you offer $10,000. You find them $100,000. You're over delivering on steroids from the get-go. They don't want you to leave. They'll grab your pant leg and not let you leave the office. If you're on the horn with them, which we saw a lot of folks, virtually, again, works just as well. 75% conversion rate with our more experienced coaches. And speaking of our more experienced coaches, this isn't for the newbies, but the more experienced ones, they do $35,000 to $137,000 event. We do a weekly call on Live Event Mastery, and you can hear them all. If you follow my emails, I sent a call out recently where you could hear all those guys talking about their events and all the success they're having. We develop everything for you. You just host the events, boom, we do it for you. What do I mean? Paint by numbers agenda, step by step on what to do, customized registration page, and I manage the countdown, climb timer, etc. Registration page, PowerPoint and script, 104 PowerPoint slides. You just click, 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 click. They're all ready to go in a word-for-word transcript of what I say. Butts and sips, seats, scripts. Make sure you get them there. Presentation, PowerPoint, and script. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Customized workbook. You just fill out like A to K, and basically we just know where A to K represents something on this document, and boom, they're there. Feedback form, and you'll see on the bottom you're getting referrals, which is a very important part of the entire process. We'll explain once you get into the program. Appointment scheduler. Closing script, again, we find our more expensive coaches have 87% conversion rate. The bottom line, our established coaches make $35,000 to $137,000 per event. Back in the day, I built a $5.5 million coaching company. We used to do $400,000 a month. This is the exact program I use to do exactly that. So the second bonus I've got for you, I'm going to turn you into an author. I'm going to write a book for you. I'm your ghostwriter. It'll be done in 30 days. We're going to come up with a killer title for you. I've got a bunch of templates. The title of my book, How to Double Your Profits in 7 months or less, fast, proven, easy to implement strategies, outperform, outmaneuver, and out-profit your competition immediately. We've got lots of templates like that. You come up with a killer title, boom, you'll be ready to rock. If you follow me at all, I know that you're anxious to get your hands on profit acceleration software because I see the emails, I see the comments, etc. This is going to be coming. 3.0 will be released in 10 days, and finally, I'm basically going to have, if you think about it from 80-20, what's been released to date is 20%. 80% is coming in 3.0 and beyond. Revolutionary new software. It's going to help you find anybody $100,000 in 45 minutes without them spending $1 on marketing or advertising. Imagine being able to sit with a high-end coaching client and finding your fees prior to even starting with that new high-end coaching client. Our software does it. It doesn't matter how experienced you are. Obviously, the more experienced you are, the better. But anybody starting off from scratch, we can get you up and trained and rocking and rolling. We've got 2 days of training that's going to help you get all of that sorted. But at the end of the day, the roadmap that gets spit out from Profit Acceleration Software, from the information that you and your new prospective client populate, basically it spits out a roadmap that you're going to be able to use over the next 12 months, and it's a comprehensive game plan between you and the clients. What does it look like? Whammo, bammo, thank you, mammo. You're going to see 11 spots here on the left-hand side. That's actually becoming 12 soon. And then on the 3.0 version, we also have an area where you'll go where there's 40 of them. Okay, so significantly more in depth roadmap. So when you're working with somebody, the red arrow, you are here. We've got to establish some very simple baselines. If you look at this stuff right now and you're like, what the hell would I put in here? It's so straightforward. It's scary. We train you on everything. The software itself gives you a guide for every category of business imaginable. Like if you're working with a restaurant, you have to go into the software, click restaurant, and the weighted averages of the entire industry will come up for you. And then you go through, once you do that, your coaching ROI, your return on investment. So monthly cost of coaching. So let's say I'm $1,000 a month. Well, I've gone through the process in 11 areas with this business. I found them not 100, but I found them $200,000 of profit. I'm charging 12 grand. Remember, I said you sell money at a discount. If they have any certainty in their body at this point whatsoever, as if they're not going to be willing to exchange $12,000 for 200 grand and a kick in the you know what. By the way, I hear you say, oh my God, 12 grand, that's too damn cheap. Look what I did. I just changed it to 2 grand. Boom. This raised up a little bit. This obviously stayed the same. Again, exchange 24,000 for 200 grand. Let's assume you're going to create a contingency. You click this box. You put 2.55, 7, 10%, whatever number you're going to put in here. You press calculate. Boom. All the numbers extrapolate. And boom. Priorities. Now, one of the challenges I always found with working with business owners is just establishing the priorities and then managing expectations. We've got a section in here that basically going to prioritize everything you're going to do with your client, and then it spits out through a Gantt chart, if you know what that is, but implementation steps. So it does two things. It's going to help you know exactly what's coming and where to go, but very importantly, it's going to manage expectation with your high-end client so they don't expect everything to be done yesterday. So that's so they're ready to rock and roll. And then think of this as the answers at the back of the book. I remember I was a horrific student, but I remember going into high school where I did better than I did at any other grade or any other point in my educational career, which was a poor one. But the answers at the back of the book in high school saved the day for me because I was a pretty smart guy. I just hated school and really, struggled to pay attention enough. Anyways, the answers at the back of the book answered everything for me. Guess what we've got here? Answers at the back of the book. You just go, unique selling proposition / market dominating position, A through K open up. Any one of them open up, and it's exactly how to go about implementing X, Y, Z. And then again, it spits out a roadmap, a specific, call it a summary, but a specific summary detailed on exactly how you go about working with your clients. A lot of our guys, what they're doing is they don't want to be doing the coaching. Like let's say I got a client, he sells $3 million of promotional gear per year. All he's doing, he's working with his clients, and then say the order is $7,000. He says, okay, if you do an order of 10,000, think of McDonald's, supersize it. If you do 10,000, I've got this whiz-bang software. I'll sit down with you. I'll find you $100,000 in 45 minutes without you spending an extra dollar on marketing or advertising. It will populate. The process itself will populate a roadmap. It'll all populate into a game plan. I'll print that off. I'll customize it. I'll email it through, and you will have it for the next 12 months to work with it. And then they're either charging, say, $2,500 flat fee for that, or they're using it to do what I just described, to take a $7,000 order and turn it into 10,000, which is money for jam. Okay, so basically everything here, and it turns into an agreement, and we've got multiple contingency agreements back there as well. There you go. So 3 bonus offers: book, live event mastery, profit acceleration software. So that's what I got for you. Remember I said at the beginning, guys, if you get a chance to operate with a business that has network effects working in its favor, well, you just saw one, okay? So if you have a membership site and you have 10 clients on it, or you have 1,000 clients on it, doesn't matter. Does anybody care? And what happens is you're going to learn, they're going to learn, your content's going to become greater. So as new clients come on, the experience becomes greater for all of them. You've got network effects working in your favor. So jump on board. If you're interested, I want you to go to coachingclientsnow.com. See it up on your screen there, coaching, I-N-G, clients with an S, now, N-O-W.com. Okay, so go to coachingclientsnow.com. And again, this is only available for the first 10 folks. And now, if you have any questions, go and punk them or chuck them into the, what do you call it, the chat box here. Okay, hang on a second here. Oh, so somebody has said, rename unnamed, but somebody, I've been paying a business coach for your online training. It is so good. I've been trying to figure out where they got it. Well, there you go. Whammo, bammo, thank you, mammo. But end of the day, guys, that's what you got. If you have any questions, plunk it in there. I see somebody is in England and wondering about pounds. So yes, no problem. So if you were in another country, so if you were in England, no problem. Jump on one of the calendars. We'll be able to explain everything. Don't worry about it. It is, yeah, we'll be able to sort that out. Again, we operate in 24 countries, not a problem. Somebody else is asking a similar question about Australia. And my boy Willie has got his hand up. Willie, I'll come to you, man, if you got a question. Oh, where is he? Willie. Oh, cool. So if you jump on my calendar, you're asking about. So, guys, I got a business plan that signed $1 million. You got to jump on the calendar, coachingclientsnow.com, and that's how you're going to get business plan that got me $1 million signed from angel investors. So go to coachingclientsnow.com, and that will come through. Now, where is Willie? Oh, there you go. Wally, one of my buds. Wally, look at this. Want to see a handsome man? Actually, I don't think it has this photo. Hang on a second. There you go. Wally happens to be. There you go. See that book right there, guys? Wally Carmichael. Well, he is here with us, folks. So there you go. See, Wally, I like the name of your book, man. So there you go, dude. So Wally's like, hey, man, cool. Let's see my book. Can I add my own content? Yes, you can absolutely add your own content. No problems there. Willie, I think we answered your question. There we go. Let's have a look here. And for all you saying congratulations and thanks, of course, I appreciate it big time. Thank you, thank you. I'm a little bit out of breath here, guys. Hopefully I got through all that. Anita, what's Anita asking? Hey. Hang on, Anita, you got a question? I'm sorry, I can't find it. Hang on, I'm coming for you. Yo, Anita, how's it going there, buddy? Yo, yo, yo. Okay, she's gonna. It's either giving us the silent treatment or she's got us on mute over there. Come on, Anita. We can hear you breathing, but not really. Okay. Back on mute. All right, guys. Well, look, I think I've handled all the questions. Once again, I'm looking through there. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, thank you. Okay, cool. So there you go, guys. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you being with us. If I can help you with anything, you just let me know. But bingo, bango, bongo. And that's it. So coaching, ING, clients with an S, now, NOW.com. coachingclientsnow.com. That's it for me, folks. I am out.